Satnam, namaste, Stormy Coulter here. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, I'm your favorite spiritual mentor. And if I'm not yet and you're new, I'm going to be your favorite in the next probably 30 seconds. All right. Is this working? It is. Okay, great. In this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about, I don't even know how to label this yet. We'll see how I label the title, but what's important to spirit when it comes to spiritual development? What is spirit looking for to develop within you? Spirit has an agenda, it has a curriculum, and we all have different ascension tracks or curriculum tracks, but there's always I want to say maybe 4, 5, 6 key factors that come consistent through every spiritual awakening. And I'm pretty much going to speak to the high of it, but I want to share with you guys what is the most important to spirit, as a big source, big God, big entity body. What is spirit looking to develop within you and your human consciousness across every human that works with spirit and that is working to develop themselves. Okay, let's see here. Oh my gosh. Also, I've got some free trainings down below that I think you guys will love on enlightenment, Akashic records, all the things. Go check them out in the description. Okay. So here's what I'm going to say before I keep going, because there was a big longer video I was going to shoot, and I think this is important to shoot as its own. So look out for part 2 where I tell you my personal experience. All right. So this is part 1. The first thing that's the most important to spirit in developing your spiritual character. And I'm going to say it that way as opposed to your just human personality, which is a little bit different. Spirit is looking to develop you in a specific way in relationship to your spiritual self, to your soul. All right. And it is different than, your human personality. So what does spirit look for in every single spiritual awakening, in every leap, in every unknown circumstance? What does spirit want from you? Number 1, these are the priorities of spirit, all right? Number 1 is spirit is looking for you to trust and to leap. At the end of the day, spirit wants to know, period, end of story, point blank, that you are going to get your ego out of the way. And no matter what you think, you are going to trust the depth of the impulse of the character of your heart, which is your soul speaking through your human experience, to leap, to jump into the unknown, to jump towards something that's calling you, whether it's a travel experience, maybe it's a job, maybe it's moving, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's coming out of a relationship, maybe it's having a child, maybe it's That's my scoop for the first part. So spirit wants to know and will challenge and test you to get you to release the attachment to your mental mind and ego that thinks things have to be done in a certain way, that thinks the universe is logical or linear, which it is not. And wants you to release the mental construct to trust the miraculous, to trust the flow, to trust the spontaneity of spirit's ability to meet you so that you can release the control of your mind and the control of the reptilian mind, the control of survival instinct, and rest in what it is to leap with spirit and allow yourself to be caught. That is step 1 spiritual development in every single spiritual anything, that pure source consciousness, no matter who you are, no matter what your soul is, no matter what God you're connected to, that is always the first thing that source is looking to develop, and will actively test you on every single leap and every single assignment to make sure that you are very comfortable with this and that you are willing, able, and ready to release your ego, which is your identity that made you who you are now. Suspend negative belief, accept positive expectation, and move through to where you are being led and guided. Okay. Number 2 is to reduce material clinging and to be open to new potential. This is really, really consistent. So I've made a really active practice and progress of simplifying, reducing. I'm pretty minimalist by nature. I have no issues getting rid of everything at any point. Like I have very little attachments to anything. Everything can be replaced in my mind, except me, or except humans I love. So Spirit wants to know that you're not over attached to material possession as a form of foundational safety. This is why you'll hear in so many spiritual leadership, spiritual texts, archaic texts, it's like reduce. Reduce down. Don't think that safety lives in your house and your car and your job because at some point Spirit's going to jostle it all up at some point just to test you. Because this is one of the spiritual tests for humans. Spirit wants to know that obviously you can have material things and that's wonderful, but Spirit wants to know that you're not clinging to them for dear life, because one day is going to come where you perish on this life and you exit your body and you're not going to have the things. So it's actually like beautiful preparation to remind you that you're a soul. So what I'd say to this overall, because I don't think you have to lose everything or get rid of everything to develop this, it really is just a release of emotional attachment. Like, what are you attached to and why materially? And do you love it? So I'm trying to think for myself as like a quick example. A, I don't own anything that I don't love. I love everything that I have. And B, I don't keep things. Even heirlooms and things like that. I don't have anything. I gave everything away because I didn't enjoy it, or I don't keep things to keep them. I don't create physical attachments. I just enjoy my space as it is. I enjoy the things I have, and then when I need to let them go, I let them go, and then like that's it. And that's how I've been able to move through this. But ultimately, it's reducing I'm going to use the word clinging again, because it really is it's like an attachment, but it's not a healthy attachment. It's, I don't know how to describe it. Spirit, can you help me? It's an unhealthy emotional attachment where you place a piece of your heart and a piece of your soul into a material item instead of working through the emotional process of why you want to separate that part of yourself into something physical and save it for later. Like, that's a good opportunity to work through why am I placing, if you guys have seen Harry Potter, like a Horcrux in this item and fragmenting my soul, which is essentially what a lot of this is. When people have these really unhealthy attachments to items, to heirlooms, they're showing me a lot of jewelry is what I'm saying. I don't own any of that stuff. All the jewelry I have are things I've bought for myself, but they're showing me heirlooms like I don't know. They're showing me antique gold, rings. They're showing me rings. So I don't know, like things you may be holding on to. And I'm not telling you not to have heirlooms, but it's like, what do you attach to and why? And why does it bring you meaning? Or does it even bring you meaning? And what I will tell you is Spirit will continually ask you guys, no matter what part of your process you're in spiritually, to continually release and practice non-attachment. Not that Spirit is saying deprioritize the material. That's not what Spirit is saying. Spirit is saying, please, we love you so much, little humans. Please stop fragmenting your soul and your heart and creating Horcruxes and placing pieces of yourself into items and then hiding them around your home. Like, that's what some of those items are holding. Part of the souls of people that have passed on as well. It's actually like pretty severely unhealthy. I don't know about all heirlooms and attachments. I can't speak to it, but I can speak to the paranormal activity that comes in items. I forget to talk about this stuff sometimes because I released all this like more than a decade ago for myself. So if you're hanging on to heirlooms, they store a lot of dark energy, typically. Paranormal energy in general. Karma from those who have passed over. I'm not telling you to clear everything out. I'm just telling you what Spirit prioritizes. I own nothing old. Do I? No, I don't. And I'm not saying if you have heirlooms, that's a bad thing. I'm saying there's usually a soul fragment and stored karma in the items. The reason why I don't have any of these items is because you'll find just holding on to the items or having them in your home locks you into the karmic contract that person passed to you that they didn't finish. So I remember when I did a purge of all the jewelry that I was carrying that I didn't buy for myself. And my spirit guides were like, you have to get rid of this. And I was like, I don't know. But somebody gave it to me and I used to love them. And then there was a trip of events where I realized very quickly, I have to get rid of this. Now, when I get rid of things, I do it with love. So I gave it to a neighbor. I was like, hey, I thought about you. Do you want this? And he was like, yeah, this is great. Like, this is cute. Where'd you get this? I was like, I don't want to talk about it. You just have to know what the energies represent. There are typically, again, with things we hold on to, especially jewelry, they're saying jewelry because the metals hold more energy. Oh my gosh. So they have karmic contracts associated to them, and them just being stored in your home is your signing off on the agreement to complete that karma for that human that gave it to you, or the lineage, or whatever it is. So spirit will always ask you to reduce material clinging and be open to new potential. How can that thing be replaced? Do you even need it? I don't know. I got rid of one bracelet. I let go of one bracelet, gave it to a neighbor, and instead accepted my Cartier jewelry. So I traded out something cheap for something luxurious. I already had the Cartier, but I was like, do I need that or do I need that? And I was like, let's get rid of the cheap shit. I will keep my investment piece. Thank you very much. So that's kind of how spirit has had me think through the years. But regardless of where you are in your spiritual journey, spirit is always going to ask you to consider your material items and reduce. How much of the stuff in your house are you actually using? Most people are only using or interacting with 20 to 30% of the shit that they own. That means you're hoarding in one way or another. That hoarding is hoarding energy. It's hoarding karmic contracts. And spirit asks us to release that so that we can travel light. It's traveling light in the heart. It's traveling light physically in general, so that spirit can trust your movement, that if you need to make a shift or there's a leap coming for you or a change in your life, that you can make it easily because you don't have as many karmic attachments that are weighing you down, literally and energetically. Again, remember that when we're talking about physical items and heirlooms, they are typically a paranormal activity or paranormal attachment. And some of you don't even realize, you might have rings or belts or things in your home that you might be hanging on from family members or that are considered heirlooms. And if they were used to harm another person, that energy is held in it. And when you wear it, you're actually abusing yourself. And then you call in that abuse. Emotionally, I don't know why they're having me say this to you. Clearly you guys need to hear it. I cleared the bad shit out fast, when I was 20 maybe, 23 maybe. But, there are a lot of items that hold really terrible energy and they are alive paranormally. And you can tell. And that stuff lowers your vibrational frequency. It harms you. It calls in negative entities. It calls in negative attachments. That stuff get rid of for sure. And then just, work with the stuff that you love the most. You can hang on to. If you love your stuff, whatever, keep it. I'm not here to judge you. I'm just here to pass along the spiritual message, right? Number 3, priorities from spirit is develop a consistent and reliable relationship with your God self. This is a consistent daily practice. Typically, I would say this is some level of meditation or communion or prayer with your higher self, but my spirit told me to call it the God self because it depends on your practices. Some of you will call it a higher self. Some of you will call it an avatar. Some of you will call it your higher mind. Some of you will call it God. Some of you, what's the other one? Higher power. Some of you will be like, I'm just meditating with myself and like praying with my heart. Like the point is you need to develop a consistent and reliable relationship, like a compatible relationship, a daily practice of partnership, of cooperation, of tuning in, of listening with your God self. It's not like a one and done thing. It's not like I'm going to go to church once a week. That's bare essentials, bare minimum. Spirit wants a daily practice, if not a couple times a day, multiple times a day. So that's always something that Spirit is going to push, again, regardless of where you are in your spiritual awakening. And then the last aspect here I have is embracing consistent growth and learning. I'm going to throw curiosity into this category because Spirit is looking to know in any phase of your awakening, regardless if you're beginner or expert, advanced, whatever, Spirit wants to know that you are ready to grow and that you are willing to grow and that you are willing to develop and you are willing to get out of your way and you're willing to move through the pain of growth, growing pains, or pains of getting out of bad situations, and that you're willing to learn. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from the people around you that give you example. Like, I can't tell you how many times I'm so grateful. This happens daily, where I acknowledge or reflect on people in my past, relationships around me now, and people that I've known that walked different paths, that had specific experiences that modeled that to me. And I was able to see the consequence of that and how it worked so that I could decide right now, okay, do I want to take that path? Because I probably would have in a lot of different ways. But because I have so many examples around with people, I'm like, oh, I love that you chose that for you. Thank you so much for choosing that path so I can learn from your mistakes and I can learn from your what you are enjoying as well right now. And I think that's just not for me. And I love that because I feel like it saves me so much time to learn from my environment. And that's something I've always done. I also do a lot of self-learning. But what I will say, for whoever needs to hear this, a lot of growing up, I'm a real black sheep, my friends. I'm very different than the people I grew up around. And what worked for me as a soul in a little child body and as I matured, is that I used an example. I used everyone around me as an example. And I said, I don't like that behavior. I'll just do the opposite. So I became the opposite to everyone around me. And that's what created me. So I learn really well from example of other people. And I like observing and understanding what they're doing. And I'm so grateful that other people choose things to live through. Like they choose these experiences and then we can learn from them. And then direct learning, like what do you want to learn? What do you want to grow in yourself? What do you want to develop? People cut themselves so short, not only spiritually, but in personal development and creativity. You have 80 to 100 years of life, hopefully, right? Maybe even more. Who knows? People generally stop learning like at 25. And I find this like insane. Like I'm always picking things up. I am always learning. I am constantly learning. I am an obsessive learner. It is one of my superhuman skills. I'm a very fast learner. And, you know, you've got your entire lifetime. Like, okay, so maybe you weren't a ballerina dancer when you were in your 20s, but like maybe strikes the moment when you're 40. And you're like, oh, how ridiculous. I would never. Like, nobody's gonna, like, that's weird. Adults don't, like, start things like that at 40. Why not? Why not? You're 40, you're not dead. You know what I mean? Like, this is the way that I think. Or, like, even if you're 60 or 70, it's like, oh, you want to pick up photography and you want to start doing cinematic filmmaking. Now's a good time. You probably have more time than you did earlier in your life. Like, start. Do it. Get into it. I hear from people I used to hear earlier in my life around music. People would be like, oh my God, I wish I could play something. And I would always be like, because I learned so many instruments and I used to teach music. I would always be like, well, what's stopping you? Like you could pick up a clarinet for $50. Like you could pick up a guitar for $50. Like what do you want to do? Like pick one. Pick one. Just do it. Get out of your way. Like try it. What's the worst that's going to happen? You feel like you fail? Oh my God, you're a beginner again? I'm going to give you an example of this too. for a while, I was only doing like expert level work, like stuff I was really great at. And I moved to San Francisco. I channel all the time. My Akashic Records guardians were like, we need you to try something new. And I was so drawn to skateboarding. And I was like, it's been a while. I'm not 16. Like, I don't know. I longboard, but skateboarding's a whole nother thing. Terrified of like breaking a limb. Anyway, so my guides were like, you need to go do a beginner skill. You need to be a beginner again. Why don't you do it? And I remember in myself, that was a moment where I was like fearful, which is ridiculous. Like I could take up skateboarding today if I wanted to. I'm not dead. Are you going to receive judgments? Are people going to judge me? Maybe, but who cares? They're just jealous that they're not having as much fun with their life as I am, or maybe as you are. And that's the honest to God truth, by the way. Honest truth, I promise. Okay, so that's what I've got for you in this video. Tune into part 2 for me to explain my growing pains, because I think it's really important to share authentically the spiritual experience. I don't want to hide this stuff back from you guys anymore. It's really healing for me to share it as well, where I just share my personal experience, because I am in constant spiritual ascension, constant progression, constant growing pains, constant growth. It never stops. And I don't think spirituality should be like a once awakening sort of thing. I think it should be constant. So I'll show you a little bit of what that looks like for me. And I've got some special things I'm going to tell you about that in there. Okay, so stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.